Hello, my friends. I'm Michelle Bohm, and welcome to Inspired, brought to you by I've Decided. It is a beautiful day here at Widecast Studios, and I have some amazing guests that I can't wait to introduce you to. I know you're going to be inspired by their story, and we're going to talk a lot about some different goals and how your beliefs will help you achieve them. So let's jump right in. I want to first introduce you to my friend Rocky Ziegler. Rocky is a certified financial planner and at his own firm, RP Investment Services. In addition to your day job, you're also a husband and a father and an author and a blogger and a newly crowned marathon finisher, which is what we want to talk about today for sure. And then also my friend Joyce Day. Joyce is probably the smartest woman I know, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
She's a real life water scientist, a hydrogeologist. Yes, water scientist. And she is also, in addition to running her own business, Grow Your Green Lifestyle, also a wife, a mother, a blogger, a podcaster, and a cyclist.
Yeah.
Something that you didn't think you would be doing.
No.
And this year, a newly crowned public speaker.
Yes.
So that again, we're going to talk about those amazing goals that you've both accomplished this year. I know I totally glossed over your very, very impressive resumes, but I want to talk about the commonality between you two, that in this last year, you both set a huge mental goal and physical goal and accomplished both of them. And as I was preparing for today, I thought a lot about how, initially those two goals seem very different. And I should explain, Joyce did the I've decided to ride and I've decided to take the stage this year, accomplished both of those. Rocky finished the Whiskey Daddle Marathon. He is not a runner, but finished the
I was that day.
self-proclaimed non-runner, but finished a marathon for a non-runner. That's a pretty good accomplishment. And wrote a book. So a mental goal and a physical goal that seem totally unrelated, but when I really thought about it, the steps that you took to get there had to be very similar. So I want to jump right in and ask both of you the same questions. First, what was scarier, saying, I've decided to run a marathon, or I've decided to write a book? I've decided to ride 40 miles, or I've decided to take the stage and present to, a group of people. What was scarier and why?
Go ahead.
Well, I gave some thought to this. For me, movement, cycling's not the first exercise that I've done. And so I've done a lot of different things over the years. And I've always had a passion and a commitment to, I like to say movement. Exercise sounds like so much work. It's not that fun.
That does sound fun.
No, but movement is something like I can get behind that, and no matter how structured or non-structured, or if I start a kickboxing class or quit a kickboxing class, whatever it is, the commitment always is to movement. And so the I've Decided to Ride program, even though I never thought I would do a cycling program and didn't initially think that was something I'd want to do, but with the loving encouragement of Kim Martin and Heather Fitzenko, our organizers, I jumped in and tried it out. And I love to try new outdoor activities. I get bored easily, so that's why I have to try new things. So that part was pretty easy for me. The riding itself was a challenge for sure. And that's what I like about the I've Decided to Ride program, is that they do build you up over time. They're there to answer those questions like, do I really need padded shorts? Why is my bike so heavy? Could it be easier? Yes. There's questions that normally if you didn't have that support, you might quit or think this isn't for me. So they did help keep me going and achieve that goal. And that was a really cool thing. And I feel really happy about it. The I've Decided to Speak program was Take the Stage. That one was definitely the more challenging for me, but I'm moving into the next phase of my business and my career, which is public speaking. And I also have a goal to write a book. Cool. And so to that program forced me to really cultivate my message. What is it I really want to say? So by far, that was the bigger challenge. And to do it standing up in front of a room full of people,
Yes, yeah.
that's a little bit trickier. So I'd rather ride my bike any day than do that. But it was fantastic for me. Really helped move me towards being able to do my podcast now.
Yeah?
Because I've been able to, through that program, was able to cultivate what is it I really want to say? What do I want to share with people? And I'm on course now. I'm ready to go with the podcast and moving towards the book. So that's great.
That's awesome. What about you, Rocky? Which one was scarier?
They were both pretty scary in their own right. I'm not gonna lie, but I was legit scared / nervous in the days leading up to the marathon, just because I really thought that. Well, I guess let me back up. So I started some training in June, I believe, I want to say, and up until that point, the longest I'd run was like maybe 2.5 hours, and I knew this was going to take well over 5, and it did.
Wow.
But for a long time, I really thought like I was going to be in the hospital hurting, so bad, like on painkillers kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was pretty nervous about that. But with the book, it was different, just because I finished it, I wrote it, I got it published, and then when people started like texting me and Facebook messaging me saying, "Hey, I ordered it," it started to sink in, like, oh no, like I've put some personal stuff in there, like people are going to know now. I mean, nothing bad or anything like that, but. Yeah, I was a little kind of like, oh no, people are going to know these stories about me. They're going to know, I went into a little bit of detail about some, struggles with like anxiety I've had in the past and things like that. And so I was a little nervous, people might be judging me or thinking certain things about me after reading some of the stuff. But it's been out there for 3 months now, I want to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you're still here.
Yeah,
you're not in the
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
nobody's.
nobody died. I'm still all right. So yeah, they were both a little scary in their own right, but. Yeah, the marathon really kind of, in my own mind, had me pretty freaked out for a couple days. So,
that's interesting that you both kind of had different approaches to that.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying. It is a scary thing when you're putting your work out there.
Yes.
You're putting yourself out there and then just waiting for feedback.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
That is more terrifying to me than I might die when I run a marathon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But the other
Which I
interesting
kind of
thing.
thought I might.
Yeah.
For level, yeah, for sure.
But did achieving those goals really help you? The physical goal for me, I ran the Chicago Marathon when I was in college, and I will hold on to that win until the day I die.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are so many times where I'm like, I can't do this. This is hard. And that little voice in the back of my head says, get up. You ran a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that to yourself? Come on.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? You're not talking me out of this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's for me. It's kind of been that way all along. And I think throughout I played rugby in college, and so for a couple of years. And so I remember I was going cliff diving, and I don't like heights at all. And I was with some girlfriends, and they were all like jumping off the cliff, and I'm like standing in this rock like 6 inches out of the water, and I'm like terrified to jump into the water. And and then they were joking that I should go to the higher one, and I just couldn't do it. But then I used that back then. I said, I play rugby, for crying out loud. Like, I can jump off this rock,
Come on.
So I just jumped up. And so it's been that way. I think that's the cool thing about trying these challenges and busting past the fears, is that the more you do it, the more you realize that your fear response is just part of the experience.
Right.
It should be expected. And your only option is to go forward. I mean, what are we going to do? Not do these things?
Yeah, and that's not always an option, really. And a lot of times, the thing you're afraid of is something that you have no choice. You have to push through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice whether to sign up for a marathon or a cycling program.
Yes.
But winning at those gives you the confidence when the next challenge comes up that maybe you don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to push through it. So that was going to be my next question, was what made you believe that you could do it? But it sounds like it was those little wins along the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what made me believe was I was just naive enough to think I could do it. It didn't enter my mind that like you can't do this. It just didn't. And so I knew it was going to be hard. I didn't know really how hard it was going to be until I was, about 22 miles in. That's when I hit the wall.
Oh, the wall.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it was bad. But no, it didn't cross my mind that maybe you won't. Well, I take it back. I did think, okay, if you get hurt, you pull a muscle or something,
Right.
maybe you'll have to stop. But even anything short of that, it just didn't enter my mind that I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't finish it.
I signed up for it. I said I was going to do it, and I'm just going to go do it. So,
It's the whole ignorance is bliss thing. Right? It's
I
like
think
your
so.
first pregnancy. Oh, this will be fine. Like, how bad could it be?
Right. People do this every day. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the book was funny too because I just kind of started one day, and after maybe about a third of the way through, I was kind of like, well, I guess you're just going to continue to do this, and so I just kept going and looked up after a few months, and I was done with it. So yeah,
awesome.
it just kind of
I
happened.
love
Yeah.
it.
And you know what? That's how you finish a marathon too. You just keep your head down and you keep going, and it's one little step at a time, and the miles tick away.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually you're at that finish line. But I do want to talk about that block because I know you had this too in the Take the Stage too, where you get to that point, and I read about it in your blog, The Anxious Advisor. Very good. I read about that experience in your blog, and I'm like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, because there's a certain point whenever you're trying to reach a huge goal like that, whether it be a mental goal or a physical goal, where you hit that wall, you think, I can't go on, your brain starts telling you, it's okay. Nobody really expected you to do this anyway. It's
Yeah.
okay if you quit. You only told a couple people you were going to do this. They aren't even going to notice.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So what do you do when you hit that? How do you get past it?
So probably I'm actually in the middle of this right now. So I am
Perfect.
I literally
timing.
didn't sleep last night. I keep waking up at 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and I lay there and I toss and turn, and I'm just having so much anxiety about launching my podcast, and I'm writing, and I know that's heading towards a book.
Yeah.
So that again, just putting yourself out there.
It's hard to do.
It's really hard to do, and it's not like anything I'm writing is like risque or anything. It's just putting out there what you think and how you feel and what you believe in, and making yourself vulnerable to people's feedback on that.
Yes.
So the things that help me is I always look to the people who have gone before me. So I love looking up. When I launched I've been through some version of this before. I've never been through this intense of a version.
Right.
But anything I've tried to do, I've always looked for someone who's been through it before me, and I look to that inspiration. It's critical. You know,
Yes.
I know that if other people have done it, I can do it. And and I love it when leaders talk about how hard something was. Please tell me that it was hard.
Yes.
Help me relate and know that I'm normal and that this is all part of the process and I'm going to be okay. So a few years ago when I was launching my blog and my website, I had read this guy who had done all this, and now he's huge and has a huge following and written many books and online courses, and his whole life has changed. But he said when he did those first couple of things, he went through this period where he was waking up with panic attacks in the middle of the night every night. And he went through 6 months where he had quit his job and he was trying to pull all this off. They didn't have enough money, and they just felt like he literally felt like he was going to die.
Yes.
And
You're like,
so
I know what that feels like.
I can relate.
Yes.
I'm relate. I don't think I'm going to die, but I can certainly
Right.
relate. And so that's what I'm telling myself right now. My only option is to not do it, and I can't live with that.
There you
So
go.
I have to
Yeah.
keep going forward, and I just try to make it okay. So I just tell random people, like I just had a conversation before I came here with my 20-year-old stepdaughter who's home from college, and she doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I'm like, I didn't sleep last night.
Yeah.
I just laid there and I felt so anxious. She's like, why are you anxious? I was like, well, I'm going to do this podcast. And so she just talked me through, and I just said, I know she loves me. And that's what we do. We find people we trust who if not going through it, at least can relate and have done hard things too, that can listen and move forward. So that's what I've done.
Yes.
And that's what helps get me through it. So hopefully in a few months, I'll look back on this and say that I've gotten over the hump and it's all good.
I love that. It's perfect that you're going through that right
Yes,
now.
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm sure you do too, Rocky.
Yeah.
When you're laying in bed and you can't sleep, you can't even articulate what you're nervous about or what you're anxious about. But it's just all of the things.
It's
all the
it's
things
a big
you have to
fat
do.
mess.
Yeah.
If you're afraid you're going to be successful, you're afraid you're not.
Yes.
You're afraid people are going to like it. You're afraid they're not going to
not.
like it. Some of it's completely irrational. I told my daughter some of those things, and she was just like, "It's like I know it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Fear
It's
is not
funny when
rational."
you explain it to someone who's not in it, and they're kind of look at you like,
Yeah.
you know,
like they don't quite get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's real. The fear of success thing was interesting too, because I've often thought like, what if this is like my book's a New York Times bestseller? Probably not going to happen. I get it, but like, what if that
What if?
happened? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
How are you going to deal
It's a
with
weird
that?
thing to think about. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And I love what you said about, talking to people that have gone before you, because that has been, when somebody can say, hey, there's going to be a pothole about 8 miles down the road.
Yeah.
At mile 22, you're going to hit the wall.
Yeah.
Then when you are at mile 22 and you hit the wall, you don't freak out because you're like, oh, you know what? Rocky told me about this. I
Yeah.
knew this was
Yeah.
coming. I say, I see you, fear. I knew you were going to be here.
Yeah.
Welcome. Let's finish.
Yeah. Wow, Rocky was right. This
Yes.
does suck.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, right.
That's what-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't believe we are already almost out of time, and I gotta go to Daryl Crook. He's going to talk a little bit about believing in yourself.
Okay.
Coincidentally, that is our weekly winning word with I've Decided, believe, and really that's the first step in accomplishing any goal. So I know Daryl's going to share a little something with us about believing in yourself.
Oh, hey, Michelle. How you doing? So the word is believe, huh? Most people wouldn't believe you can catch fish this time of year, but you can. You know, speaking of believe, I think it's important to believe in yourself. What are some of the ways you can do that? Well, there's a lot of things that you can do that help you to believe in yourself. I think the first one is probably to set some goals. You know, just the act of setting goals makes you feel better about yourself. And then don't sit still. Go to work on those goals. Just working on those goals, staying busy, being busy working on them, that doesn't give you time to sit around and worry and have doubt and not believe in yourself. And start small. Set some small goals, some things that you can achieve. And then when you achieve those goals, celebrate those goals. Can you imagine how that would make you feel about yourself? How much more that would make you believe in yourself? Some other things? Positive self-talk is a good one. Telling yourself positive self-talk. You know, one of the things that I've been telling myself lately, I am a world-class speaker. I'm a world-class speaker. Do you believe it? It's amazing. I am a world-class speaker. That's what works for me. I've got some that are more general, maybe some that you can use. Something like, I am a problem solver. I'm a problem solver. I am a problem solver. And another one I like is, I love a challenge. I love a challenge. I love a challenge. Does it mean you really love every challenge you see? No, but believe me, it will help you when those challenges come along. You give it a try. Tell yourself, I'm a problem solver. I love a challenge. Or maybe whatever else you can think of. Give it a try.
Thank you. Again, that was Daryl Crook with Fishing for Inspiration, who always has some amazing thoughts to share with us. Again, I'm Michelle Bohm with my guest Joyce Day, Grow Your Green Lifestyle, and Rocky Ziegler. Rocky, tell us the name of your book again.
It's 28 Things is what it's called.
28 Things, and you're working on another one?
Yep.
Your blog is The Anxious Advisor, and your company is RP Ziegler Investment Services. We will share those websites with you again in the show notes, so please don't miss those. I know that you'll love hearing more about their stories on their blogs. Another thing that we need to make sure that we are doing this year is preparing for our I've Decided Success Conference. The Motivational and Success Conference will be on January 19th at Richwoods High School, and there are still seats available. So make sure you go to ivedecided.org. Again, that's ivedecided.org. You can pick up your tickets as a business or community member. For only $12.99, you can become a community member and join us. All of us will be there at the conference this year. You can join us there and start your own success journey. Again, I'm Michelle Bohm, and this is Inspired.
PeoriaLife.com